Today I'm going to answer one of your questions that I get asked all the time. So I was like, right, I'm going to do a video on this. And I always get asked, Ismene, are you always positive all the time? And the really short, easy answer to that is absolutely not. No, I'm not. I'm highly emotional, highly intuitive, and I feel deeply. I love hard. I go into things at 150%. So no, I'm definitely not positive all the time because I feel all of my feelings. But that was a real journey for me. Because I used to feel that I was too sensitive, that I was too much, that I felt too much. And I kind of like saw emotions and not feeling good as like the enemy, like something that I'm failing at, or that I'm different, or, you know, why can this person cope with this and I can't? And actually in later years, now that I've learned to feel my feelings and transform them and transcend them, which is what I'm going to talk to you about, I now really welcome all my feelings because I realise that they can actually really be a guide for us. They can be our internal sat-nav. And that when we have the bravery to feel all of our feelings, we go through things much more quickly. So prior to that, learning those things, and I'll share a few things about how I transform emotions and transcend them. And prior to that, what I would do when I was feeling sad or feeling anxious or feeling shame or whatever, I used to experience an awful lot of shame, which was horrendous, was that I would just try and run away from them. And I would do that in a number of ways, by drinking or doing drugs, or points overworking, or just like numbing out, or, you know, shutting down. It was a whole host of things. And then what I kind of learned was that it was less the emotions that was causing me the problems and more the behaviour. Less the emotions, more the behaviour. And actually then, because the behaviour has a consequence, right? So let's just take this as an example. Like I'd be feeling, you know, down, and then I would go out and like get really drunk, and then the next day I would feel absolutely horrendous, and then that would might take me 3 or 4 days to recover. Whereas in later years, what I really learned to do instead, and this is something I'm always getting better at, and this is where like my meditation practice and stuff really helps me, is that I realised actually if I just feel the feeling, if I'm with the feeling, if I acknowledge the feeling, if I deal with the feeling, then it comes and it goes. Feelings are just like waves. So they come up, they have a peak. Your body can't withstand difficult feelings or a level of intensity. It has to come down. So what I realised was actually it's more like I don't have to drown and then spend like days out at sea trying to like get back to shore. I can feel my feeling, go into the wave of it, be on top of it, and then just ride the wave. And that was a much quicker way. And then I could also ask myself, okay, so what's going on here? So we have something called appropriate emotions. So we are emotional beings, we are not robots, we are meant to experience a wide variety of emotions. So we can use emotions for benefit. So for example, if we're feeling angry, that might be, we're feeling appropriately angry, that might be a sign that actually my boundaries are being pushed here. If we're feeling, you know, really kind of like empty, that might be our internal sat-nav to say, hey, like you need to fill yourself up, you need to go and have fun, you need to hang out with your friends. And when I kind of like realised that emotions and feeling bad and negative, I don't see that as being the experience, that causes an awful lot of problems. Whereas when we see everything as helping us, that really starts to shift our experience. And not only that, that when we're able to sit with our own feelings and not run away from them, we save loads of time, we take action, we become much more in tune with ourselves. But the other benefit, which is really amazing, and that's definitely been my experience, is that we can sit with another. We can listen to another person, we can show up for them without trying to fix them or change them or shame them, which means that we have better relationships and people will generally come to you with things. You become a safe person to them. And this is really, really important in having meaningful relationships, and what we all want is meaningful relationships, and we want depth. And I always feel that we can only go into an experience or into a relationship or friendship, opportunity, as deep as what we've journeyed within ourselves. So that's really important too. So just to kind of like finish that off, because that's how I used to view them, and that's how I used to cope with them, which is what caused me an awful lot of problems. The moment that I decided to stop running away, the moment that I decided to actually be with all parts of me and love and accept all parts of me, which is what self-love is, not just the parts that are shiny. Although obviously there's a lot of unicorn in me. What I learned to do instead was feel my feelings, then transform them by expressing them. So either by voicing them, journaling them, and or doing physical things like dynamic type meditation stuff. So dancing, chanting, walking in nature. And also creativity is amazing for transforming emotions. It like literally shifts them through the body. And then the third practice is feeling your feelings, but again, just seeing them as an experience that we're having, a sensation, a feeling, and just allowing them to be what they are and move through, rather than necessarily having to always create a story. Oh my God, I feel negative again, so that must mean that, you know, like I'm not being positive, and then I'm a bad person and I'm failing and I always do this. You know, like this is how we prolong the feeling. So the third stage was that I've just learned to feel the feeling, acknowledge it, ask it what it needs, use practices to move it through my body. And then the third one is not to attach to it for too long, and just feel it for what it is without creating lots and lots of stories. So as ever, I hope this is helpful for you. Whatever you feel, just welcome it, acknowledge it, let it be part of your experience. Whenever we try and section off parts of us and make us bad, we cause ourselves a lot of unnecessary suffering, and we don't like that. That does not give us a happy soul. So from one happy soul to another, sending you so much love.